My recent post on a blog entitled, "Did I Marry the Wrong Person?" has generated a lot of interesting feedback. Many have disagreed with my theory or my position that the conflict that you experience in your relationship is actually proof that you've married the right person, and that sometimes it's good to reflect on your marriage and to realize that it's not all about what your spouse is doing. It's about the responsibility that you can take to make the marriage better, and that you play a role in your spouse's, let's say, acting out. Well, it's no excuse for what your spouse does, the acting out behavior that your spouse does. They have to take responsibility for that. But ultimately, you only have control over what you can do. And how do you play a role? If you don't believe me, I'd like to give you a really good example. I heard a story one time about a couple that I knew about, where the guy had what you might call an anger problem, or at least his wife did. And he was pretty angry, and he probably had some good reasons to be angry based on his childhood and growing up and his life experiences. Nevertheless, the wife was extremely critical and shaming of him, and did not create a safe environment for him. So he began to act out more and more. And she constantly blamed him as if it was all his fault. And she married the wrong person, and he had a problem, and it just wasn't going to work because of that. So, whose fault is it? Not necessarily anyone's fault, but to realize that we do create our relationship nightmare. We do contribute to whatever we experience in our relationship. Regardless of what your spouse chooses, you play a role in triggering him or her to act in the way that they do.